Hello, friend. Welcome to day 12 of this 20-day challenge together. I'm your host, Alicia Carrasco, entrepreneur, author, wife, and mom of two. And if this is the very first episode that you are listening to and you are wondering what the 20-day challenge is, let me explain you very quickly in hopes that you also want to join in. So for the first 20 episodes of this podcast, I propose you to be your guide on your journey of self-transformation by committing 20 days to listen to the corresponding episode where we dive deep into the keys and the techniques to explore your inner self. And then you commit to do your 3 to 5 minute journaling reflection every day after listening to the corresponding episode. So if you'd like to take me up on this challenge, go ahead and keep listening to this very same episode that we're going to start today. Or you can always go back to day one of this challenge and start from the very beginning. So in yesterday's episode, we talked about your purpose being within you, right? Not something that you have to go out there and seek outside, right? And today we're diving into your purpose, but from a different perspective, from the perspective of what it means to be walking that path. How does it look like, really? And to do so, I'll be sharing with you my personal experience and my personal journey towards remembering my purpose. So, the first thing that I'd like to mention before diving into my personal experience is that when you set on your path to finding your purpose, it is important to understand that it is a lifelong process. Your true self is eternal, right? But your version of this true self will evolve and change as your circumstances and experiences in life change. You are constantly evolving, and your purpose will always need the most up to date version of yourself. And to do so, it may be that at some point in life, you will believe that you have clearly found your purpose by carrying out a certain type of activity, maybe, or a career. And after a while, you may feel that you are once again kind of searching for another activity that better manifests your purpose at that moment. And that's okay. It's part of the process. So in my case, it was not until long ago that I kind of discovered what my purpose is. And now I know that my role on this planet is to inspire others to become the best version of themselves. But if you were to look at my resume and what I have done in the past, you will see that I had many different jobs, such as English teacher, radio presenter, journalist, blogger, specialized actually in sustainable fashion, digital marketing specialist, entrepreneur, author, and yoga teacher. So obviously, nobody will say that I have followed a very clear and obvious path towards the purpose that I just described a minute ago, right? But not long ago, I sat down to analyze my life's path. And I discovered what all those phases of my life had in common. And what I found is that it was actually the constant passion to evolve and learn in search of the best version of myself. And also in the search of a life that would make me feel happy day after day. And this has always been a factor that has actually guided me in everything that I've done in my life without most of the time being consciously aware of it. And when I was doing my reflection of my life and everything that I've done in the past, I understood that each stage has always led me to the next one, causing me to grow and acquire new skills. For example, during my time as a radio presenter, I learned to communicate better. And from there, I went on to work on a newspaper and collaborate as well with different magazines where I discovered that what I really enjoy is writing. And from there, I began my career as a blogger, daily blogging, where for the first time I began to write publicly about topics that really interested me at that time was 10 years ago actually, and it was fashion. And from there, my blog evolved towards sustainable fashion, where I began to understand that what I truly loved was not fashion itself, but rather creating awareness and change in the sector by empowering people to become more responsible for their consumption habits. And this led me to my period as a teacher, where I actually discovered that what I liked was not so much giving English classes, but rather giving classes that generated a space for discussion and debate about emotional and social topics that helped really my students to open up their minds and understand the world and themselves as well from a more enriching and active perspective, empowering them to become part of the change on the planet. And after this stage as teacher, it came my time as a digital marketing specialist and entrepreneur with a digital e-commerce platform and also a marketplace for sustainable brands. And in the last years, co-founding with my husband Mark an online film music school, cinematic composing. And this entrepreneurial path with my partner Mark caused me to constantly evolve on a personal level by having to stop and take a stock of my life 1,000 times and gradually undo patterns of conduct, thoughts and fears and beliefs that were blocking my capacity to grow and really maximize my potential on both a professional and personal level. And it is exactly those constant processes of evolution and rebalancing in this stage as an entrepreneur, especially as an entrepreneur, combined with the fact of being a mother and having a partner who adores me at my side and living actually a dream life of having, achieved everything that I had once just imagined, that have several times led me to an internal crisis in which I ask myself the question, is that all there is? What is success really? What is happiness? Even though I have it all, kind of, it looks like I have it all. Why do I feel sometimes that I'm empty? And it was in the search of the answers for these profound questions that I ended up in the world of yoga 5 years ago. My training stage as a yoga teacher helped me immerse myself into a process of personal growth like never before, in which everything like mind, body, and spirit, soul, came together in perfect unison for the first time in my life. And this is what helped me understand what it really meant to live a happy life with passion and purpose. So, in the end, it does not matter what path you choose in life, provided that it is the right one for you. That's the important thing, that you feel that it's the right path for you. If you make a decision based on this, you can never go wrong because you will always get something out of each stage that will help you and guide you to take the next one, and so on and so on. So, in my case, this is how I came to write a year ago my first book called You Are Already Everything You Need, the one that you can see up there. And also how I decided to start my personal growth project with Mindset with Alicia, and also starting this podcast that I'm recording today to be able to share with you my path of evolution and inner discovery. And in the same manner, I have no idea how it will turn out in the long run. And that's okay. What is magical is that, yeah, I don't care, because in writing each and every one of the lines of my book and the scripts for this podcast and also recording these episodes, I feel happy. I feel joy and at peace with myself. And this is the most pure and truthful feeling that effectively it's going to tell you that you are living your purpose. It's that simple. So, your commitment when setting out on this path of internal discovery is not to find the perfect activity or career that is going to manifest your purpose better, but rather to commit to always be open to rediscover that alignment with your inner self, with your true self, whatever the external circumstances are. In fact, the more aware you are of your true inner self, the more you will change and evolve in your external reality. And it's always going to be a work in progress, and that's okay. I didn't understand this concept when I started out in this path of personal transformation, but I'm going to repeat this again because it is really important to understand that when you start on this path of self discovery, you're just a work in progress. You commit to be at peace with being a work in progress. And that's okay. Being flexible along this path and dealing with the uncertainty of not knowing what is happening at certain times will be an inevitable part of this journey. So, your function, your role is to constantly anchor what you are doing with your true self and ask yourself if what you are doing at the moment feels right in the deepest part of your being or if it doesn't. And many people become blocked along the path when searching for their purpose out of fear of causing problems to others, or maybe fear of failure or not knowing what they're gonna really be doing. And yeah, simple put, it's fear of failure and uncertainty of the results that you're going to get. So much so that most of the people decide to throw in the towel and go back to their ordinary life, which, despite not really satisfying them, gives them the security to continue a normal life based on the established standards in society. And this is, in fact, proof that although we all have a life purpose, it does not mean that it is inevitable, that it's going to happen. As human beings, we have the will and the freedom of choice, and we can decide to lead a life fully in balance with our true self or just do completely the opposite and spend our lives without addressing our purpose. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility. It's you who is going to decide if you want to start on this journey of personal evolution and transformation and ultimately living your purpose or not. So for today's challenge, I prepared for you a reflection exercise that it's a bit longer than usual, but I believe that it will really help you out in starting on this path of self-discovery by looking into your inner self and understanding the common threads, the patterns that you can see in your life. So the first part is about reflecting on your life journey. So ask yourself these three questions. One, what roles, jobs, and activities have you participated in throughout your life? Think about them. Two, what common themes or passions can you identify across these different experiences that you had in the past? And three, how have these roles contributed to your personal evolution? Take a few minutes to write down all your answers. And if you need to, you can even create a visual map. I sometimes do that because it really helps me to understand the thread, the common thread, or the patterns. If you are more of a visual person, just go ahead and do that. You can write down the answers and then convert this into a visual map. But my advice here is do not overthink it. You don't need to have it perfect. And the second part of this journaling reflection for today is alignment with your true self. So, three questions here. The first one is, when have you felt the most alignment with your true self? Second, describe moments where you felt that you were living authentically and felt at peace and happy with that internal constant joy. And third question, are you currently in alignment? And if not, what steps can you take to return to your true self? I hope you enjoyed today's reflection and journaling. And I know it may take you longer than our daily journaling reflections, but I can assure you that if you take the time and space to think about this, the answers that you've been looking for in the direction of your life and also your personal evolution and transformation will start to pop up in those common threads that you'll start seeing. That's all from me today. If you like this episode, please like, rate, subscribe, or even share it with a friend. Thank you for listening and see you in the next one.